Hi, and welcome to another video. For today's video, I'm gonna go through like a list of like viral TikTok books and talk about if I own them or not, and if I've read them or not, and like what I thought about them. I am someone who's not really into TikTok. I actually didn't even start going on TikTok until like this year, honestly. So it's not like I've read a lot of TikTok books because I like saw them on TikTok and had to read them. I was like super active on Bookstagram in 2020 and into 2021. So, I mean, I know there's some overlap, so it's definitely possible that I've read some TikTok famous books because I mean, they went viral for a reason. So I don't even really know how many I've read, but we're gonna go through the list and see. So that's what we're doing today. I don't really know how to find like the best list, so I googled and there's like a few different articles like listing books. I'm just gonna go through a couple different ones and see what they say. So yeah, we're gonna get started. So the first one on this one is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I own it because a classmate I had in college raved about this book, and I saw it at a used bookstore one day and I got a copy, and I have not attempted to read it. So own it, haven't read it. The next one, this one list is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I've owned it, I've read it twice, not because I like really like it. I read this for the first time in 2021, I think, and I read it right behind Boyfriend Material, which I really loved that one. And then I got to this one and I didn't like it as much. I really like the couple, I like ship them together. I think the parts I don't like about the book are like, I'm not really into history and I'm not really into politics, and that's like half this book. I don't know. So I gave it a 3.5 stars the first time I read it, and then I reread it as an audiobook over the summer so I could like refresh myself on the story before the movie came out. And I enjoyed my reread. Like I like this book. I do enjoy it. I didn't change my rating. I still think I feel the same way about it. Like I like it, but there's just like, I don't like history, I don't like politics, so I can't like rate it any higher because it's just like content I don't like. I will say that despite me not liking like the politics in it, when they cut stuff out for the movie, it kind of changes the story, and I did not like that they cut it out even though I don't care about it. So that is one that I own and have read. The next on this list is Shadow and Bone by Leigh DeBarrio. I own it, I have not read it. I want to. Well, okay, here's the thing. I want to read Six of Crows. Like, I bought that book, like, I don't even know when I bought that book. It was a while ago. And then I found out that you should read this series first. And, like, I know you don't have to, but, like, I'm someone that's, like, if I find out there's a series you should read first, then I'm going to read that first. And so I got this book. I got all of them, actually. I got them, like, as a bundle. And I have tried to read it. I did, not like I couldn't get into it. I, like, decided I was going to read this book, I think around the time that my order Fourth Wing came in, and then I read Fourth Wing instead. And then, I don't know, I just didn't go back to it. I still want to read it though. It's on my like TBR cart for this year, and I'll probably put it on the cart again for next year. So this one I own, but have not read. The next one on the list is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Own it, read it, loved it, 5 stars. So like when this was like blowing up on TikTok, it was also blowing up on Bookstagram, and my coworker like had it and let me borrow it, and so I read it, and then I ended up buying my own copy because I liked it so much that I wanted to own it. Like I get why people don't like this book because it does feel very fanficky and Wattpad-y, and I mean obviously it's like how it started, but I loved it. Like it was so cute. And since then I have read Love on the Brain and Love Theoretically, and I've decided I just really love her writing. I love how she writes romance. Yeah, they kind of are similar, but only in the sense that it's like STEM romance, and it's like nothing wrong with that. So I have decided I'm gonna read all of her books because I love how she writes romance. I haven't decided if this one's still my favorite or if Love Theoretically. Bump this one out of the way because I did really love Love Theoretically. I also gave that one 5 stars. But yeah, so own it, read it, love it, 5 stars. The next one on the list is Twisted Love by Ana Huang. I don't know how to say that last name. I don't own that one. I haven't even tried to read it. The next one is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. Don't own it, haven't tried to read it. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Nope. Verity by Colleen Hoover. I actually just read this one this year as an ebook from the library, and I really liked it, actually. Like, I can see why people don't like it, but I thought it was, like, interesting, and, like, I guess, like, some of it, but not all of it. And so I was, like, on the edge of my seat. Like, I didn't want to put it down. I gave that one a 4.5 stars. I couldn't really decide. Like, because it's, like, it wasn't, like, my favorite thriller, but, like, I could not put it down, which, like, I kind of gotta give it a higher rating if I couldn't put it down. So 4.5 is what I landed on for that one. So I don't own that one, but I have read it. Next on the list is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Nope. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. Nope. The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I do want to read this one. I haven't gotten it yet, but it is on my list because I'm definitely interested in reading this one. Babel by R.F. Kuang. No. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I need to read all of her books because I read Happy Place this year and I really, really loved it. And I own Beach Read, but I haven't gotten to it yet. And so I like want to read it when I'm at the beach, but I just like never go to the beach. So I do want to get all of her books and read all of them because I think I'm just going to love all of her books. So she seems like that kind of author. So I don't have that one yet, but I do plan on getting it. Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Own it, read it, love it. Have the whole trilogy. I love them all. I read this book in 2021, I guess. I read the first two, and then I was like waiting for the last one to come out. So whenever that was. I love this series so much. I want to say I gave the first two 4.5, like 4.5. I don't remember what I gave the last one, but this series is so good. And to be YA, it's like insane how good it is. I think everyone should read it because, oh my god, I just love her writing. I love the character Pip. I love everything. I just love the series so much. It's so good and it's like so well written for YA and like you can read it like quickly because it's YA, but like not in a bad way. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna read every book she writes. I have read Five Survive and I didn't like that one as much as this series. But I'm still gonna read all of her books. And I have read the series twice. I read it the first time as physical and then I read it again as audiobook. I think only once, but honestly it might have been twice. And I cry every time I read the ending of this one. So there's that. Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I've never even heard of that one. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I haven't read this one, but I have read the first book in like the Natural series, the Naturals. And I liked it, and so I want to continue that series, and I also want to like read this series. I like that kind of storyline, and I like her writing, so I think I would like this one too. So it is on my list to buy. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Monrino Garcia. I own this one, but it's in my pile to get rid of that I keep like up on top of my bookcase. I don't feel like getting it down, but as you can tell from the fact that it's in my pile to get rid of, I really, really did not like that book. Don't even know why it's popular. That was like one of my least favorite books I read that year. I read it in 2021, I think. Like, I don't even know how you could call it horror. It's not scary at all. And I just thought it was really weird and like not in a good way. And just like not that interesting. It just wasn't what I was expecting and not in a good way. And I didn't like that book. I think it did body horror well, but it's not like advertised as like body horror as a type of horror. So I don't know. I don't even remember if I gave it a rating, but I dislike it enough that I want to get rid of it. And I hold on to most of my books. So there's that. This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone. Nope. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. No, I've seen a lot of people talk about this one. I'm just not sure if I could get into it because I'm just not very into literary fiction. Wicked Beauty by Katie Robert. No. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I have read this one. It was one of my Once Upon a Book Club books I got a couple years ago. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I don't even remember what I rated it now. I think I rated it 4 stars, so it's like I liked it, but I guess I liked the concept, and it's not like it was executed like badly, but like there was just like something that kept me from like absolutely loving it. And this book can definitely be triggering, so I would check the trigger warnings before you read it. And yeah, so I own it. I've read it. I liked it like well enough. I can see why people talk about it. It's definitely something that like I can see why it's like popular and why it's talked about. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Swab. Okay, I kind of thought I owned that one and hadn't read it, but I don't own it. So yeah, I don't own that one. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Have not read that one. I borrowed it from a friend once and then I never read it and gave it back. I'm interested in reading it, but I just haven't gotten around to reading it, so. Thirsty by Madeline Miller. Same thing, also borrowed that one, haven't read it. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have read it. I didn't love it. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. Like, I know this gets better later in the series, but the love in this is just really toxic and it just really bothered me. And like I said, like I know that gets better. Okay, I know it gets better. But I don't know, I just had a hard time getting into this. I tried to read the second book on audiobook and I tried multiple times and I just kept stopping. I got halfway through it. And like I am interested in continuing the series to like see what people are like raving about. But I think I just need the physical copy, and even then I just don't know what it's gonna take to get me to read it. I also just like know that the series is like, there's so many books and they just get longer each one, and maybe that's putting me off from reading it too. But I have read the first one and I liked it well enough. A Little Life by Hanya Ian. Yeah, I'm butchering that. I don't even want to try. I have not read it. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Nope. The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I do own this one. I saw it in a used bookstore one day and like everyone was talking about it like on Bookstagram, and so I bought it. But I haven't read it. It's just sitting in my bookcase. So own it, haven't read it. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I read this one as an audiobook either this year or last year, and I liked it. I didn't love it. I just felt like it was like missing something, and like maybe I would have felt differently if I had like read the physical copy. Kind of like a deep book, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. I've been thinking about reading the like sequel, prequel, whatever book he released recently similar to this, but I don't know. I will say like the last page of this book, or the last couple pages, I was not okay while reading them. I literally like finished it and I was like, so there's that. Read it, didn't like super love it, but like it did make me sad. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Haven't read it. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I tried to read this one as an ebook because like people talk about it and stuff, and I got like 15 or 20% in, and I was like bored. Like I was just like, I don't get what's happening. I don't get where this is going. I don't really care where this is going. And I just DNF'd it because it's like I don't know, I wasn't interested, and it was like a library book, so it was like so low stake to just DNF it because I could just return it. So I tried to read this one. The Charm Offensive by Alison Gaucheron. Never even heard of that one. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I tried to read this one as an audiobook and I stopped after like 10 minutes. I honestly think it was something about the narrator. I just like wasn't feeling it when I downloaded it and I returned it. I would probably try it again because it wasn't really, I don't think it was the book. I honestly think it was like the narrator and just like how I was feeling that day. And the last one on this list is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Okay, I've read that one. It's like on the bottom shelf of my bookcase. I had to like double stack the bottom shelf down there, and it's like in the back, like in a horizontal stack behind a horizontal. I don't feel like getting it out. I've read Fourth Wing. I read it in September. I really liked it. It's not like a 5-star for me, but I did really enjoy that book. While I'm filming this, I am currently reading Iron Flame, and I'm like 60% of the way through, and it's good. So I've owned Fourth Wing and I read it. So that is the 34 books on this article. I'm gonna like go to another one and see if there's any that weren't on that one, because I read very few of that list. All right, so this one, Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. I own the first one in that series. I haven't read it yet, but like it's so popular. Like all 3 of those books are like so popular and like well loved, and like I like romance, and so I own it, but I haven't tried reading it yet. It's on my TBR card for the year, so I wanted to read it this year, but it's mid-November, so that's not happening. So I own this one, but I haven't read it. Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I've never even heard of that one. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. Haven't read that. Shatter Me by, I don't know how to say that name, but you know the series I'm talking about. And I actually have not read that, which is funny because it was like around back in the day when I was reading a lot of fantasy, like when I was like a teenager. I haven't read it, but people talk about it so much. I'm like really tempted to read it. I might get the first one and see if I can get into it, but I haven't read it as of right now. Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca. Never heard of that. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, Ocean Buog. I haven't heard of that one. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Haven't read that one. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't know how to say his last name. I haven't read that book. I was really wanting to read that book, and then I read The Maidens as an ebook like from the library, and I really didn't like The Maidens. So now I'm like hesitant to read Silent Patient because I'm like, what if I don't like that? Because like The Maidens is also like highly talked about, and I just like it just wasn't what I was expecting. I feel like it was hyped up too much because like nothing like really happened. Like I just like wasn't interested. I feel like the synopsis was like misleading. I just didn't really care for that book, and I'm like, what if like this one's like overhyped and I don't like this one either? So I can't decide if I still want to read it or not, but as of right now I have not read it. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I own this. I haven't read it. I really want to read it because it's like so popular, and it has that Netflix show now, and I think I would love it. I think I would love it so much, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it because I just don't really read graphic novels. And so yeah, I just haven't read it, but I own it and I want to. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. No. Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. No. Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica. No. Okay, didn't read very many on that list. I'm gonna try another list. The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ. No. Someone Else's Shoes by Jojo Moyes? No. Stone Maidens by Lloyd Devereaux Richards? This is on my list because I did hear about this and I did really want to read it. Off the Deep End by Lucinda Berry? No. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score? No. I haven't read any of her books, but I really want to read them because people like them so much, especially like Sarah Crowley. She's really like the deciding factor for me. I really want to read it. I have some questions for you, Rebecca Mackay. No. The Shadow of Perseus, Claire Haywood. No. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. No. Big Swiss by Jen Biagen. No. Apple Street by Ginny. I haven't heard of most of these. Central Places by Delia Kai. No. Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. I haven't even heard of most of that list. Definitely haven't read them. Here's another list. My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moss. Don't know how to say her last name. I haven't read it. The Cool Prince by Holly Black. I haven't read it. The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. No. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Like I said, I do want to read all of her books, but I've only read Happy Place. That's it. You know, I haven't read, I guess the end of this is I haven't read most TikTok books. Okay, so I went through like 4 different articles of lists ranging from like 20 to like 35 books. There was some overlap. It started getting repetitive when I was like trying to find more. So I'm gonna stop there. And the answer is I have not read most TikTok famous books. I've read such like a small percentage that I don't feel like counting up right now, but I'll put it on the screen, the percentage of what I've read and what I own of that list. And yeah, so yeah, I guess not being on TikTok means you don't really read TikTok famous books. The ones I did read and like own, I did find out from Bookstagram, and there's definitely some like overlap between the two. So that was like kind of anticlimactic, but I think I'm still gonna post it. So I guess that's it for this video. I read a lot of books that aren't popular, I guess. That's just the moral of this story. But that's fine, because it's like if I enjoy what I read, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how I find out about the books. So there's that. So yeah, thanks for watching and bye. I'm sorry, Bailey. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Bailey wants to be the center of attention. Don't you, boo?